but otherwise you're well.
I'm fantastic.
You're looking like lockdowns. You're rocking lockdown. Your hair, you're looking great. You got the books and you're looking great. You're looking like...
Thanks, Richard.
I was hoping to check in with disheveled, panicking, pulling hair out. The industry is lost. I've had to become a second-hand car salesman, but you're rocking it.
Actually, I could become a plumber. I actually could become a plumber. I've unclogged toilets at a level I never knew I could, or
really?
even knew I had it in me too. But it was one of those, who you gonna call? And you're like, yeah, there's no one to call. And yeah, so that was fun.
So how long was that hard lockdown? Was it 7 weeks, 8 weeks? How long was that hard?
Wait, which one? The South African one? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
I never got to be in your lockdown. I've been in America the whole time.
Oh, snap.
So, yes, I've
I'm
been
only
in
finding
the US
this out. Hang on,
the
I'm
whole
only
time.
just finding this out now. I was like, here I am asking you Rona questions, and like you were in a different country. When did you come back?
Hey,
When
I'm
did
not
you
back.
come back?
I'm not
You're
back.
in the States now.
I'm in the States as we speak. I've been here. So I was in New York when Corona peaked in New York, in America. And so the day before lockdown, New York, we quarantined in a different state. And we've been here ever since.
So hang on, I got a whole bunch of catching up to do. I thought I was talking to Tumi and Joe. I've been out of the loop. So
you see,
so hang
this
on.
is what happens when you neglect your girlfriends. This is what happens.
Okay, so hang on. Why are you in New York? What's like? When did you get there?
We got here on the 9th of March, and it was a family holiday / business. And most of my business, and by most I mean 95% of the business I came for, obviously got cancelled because we're performers there. And when we say we're here for business, we mean we have a show, and meetings with managers.
You arrive in New York, you phone Caroline's Comedy Store. I'm here.
Dude, so as this thing was getting worse and worse, my husband and I are going, should we be trying to leave earlier? But then we couldn't, because we were also here for our green cards, and you can't leave without receiving your paperwork. So it was like, if we leave, it's such a risk because we actually don't know if this is getting any worse or any better. Anywho, so long story short, we decided, okay, let's stay another week. How bad can this Corona thing be? This was before we knew that Rona ain't here to play. So we can see it's getting worse in New York. We're watching the news. We're seeing even our apartment in New York, like suddenly things were getting restricted and stricter. Like you couldn't even go into the laundromat. You know what I mean? Like it was going crazy. You couldn't share a lift. And I was going, okay, something's going down. Let's figure out what's going on. Next thing, they're like, in the next 24 hours, New York's shutting down. I was like, I'm not shutting down in New York. New Yorkers have been in denial about this thing for a while now. Like when they were saying they're shutting down restaurants and bars and whatever, there was a pub literally down the road from us that had a queue of people. So I was like, listen, I'm not staying for this thing. So we hired a car. We drove 4 hours out to Washington. And so now we're in Virginia, just outside DC. And it's a really lovely suburb. And people are like, they're not waiting for government to tell them, try and stay alive. They're actually trying to stay alive. So it's been great. I mean, we were quarantined. We didn't even quarantine for 2 weeks. I feel like we quarantined for 4 weeks. So 2 weeks was hard, zero contact, not even with our relatives. And then the following 2 weeks was literally just enough to get food and figure out where we are, and that's it. Because I've got 2 asthmatic kids. My husband's asthmatic as well. And so I was like, I'm not taking chances. Life cover is a lot, but I'd like to enjoy my money with my family, not by myself. So, so we stuck around, bruh. And on the plus side, I got to drink throughout this whole thing. Like, you
had that. Yeah, you have that. Although, if you were in, I know it's California now, they're closing their bars, but I suppose the liquor stores are still open. It's a crapshoot there in America, because you could either get lucky and be in New York with Cuomo, or in Florida or Las Vegas, where they're like, we'll be this experiment, let's try herd immunity. We're fine.
Dude, Dude, it's crazy. I mean, I was watching TV with my daughter and she saw that Disney's reopened, right? It's like, we're going to Disney. I'm like, friend, no. Disney, like Florida just found out that shit has hit the fan, but they went, no, it's okay. Let's have fun at Disney. Let's have a last good ride before we check out. You know what I mean?
It's so weird because when Cupcake called lockdown here on the 23rd. I love him, so it's like it's cool. I can call him when I want to.
Cupcake, yes.
And he enjoyed possibly the best or the highest acceptance rate of any leader in any country, barring New Zealand, Jacinda Ardern, for locking down early. Yeah. And then it's been a little bit up and down, but certainly not. You've got two tribes, proper tribes, in the States now, and it took 104 days and 134,000 deaths before that president put a mask on. So
dude. Dude.
So I don't know what do you like? Are they like people that like when you go shopping and you've got the mask on and you're sanitizing the basket and everything, are there people there like going, oh, it's not a thing? I was like, oh, look at these people. Why are they wearing their masks?
No. This state is very, very responsible. Like we're in Virginia, and honestly, I have not seen anyone be irresponsible. Because even like very tentatively, they started reopening your nail bars and your hair places.
Yeah.
But like everybody looks like a stormtrooper. Because everybody goes the extra mile. Like they're not just with a mask. It's the mask with the thing on the side. It's people with the whole glasses thing, the shield,
visor,
the visor. People are wearing, like we wear gloves and we're swapping gloves. So if I have to go to more than one shop, like I do as much as I can online. But if I absolutely have to, which is usually with the drugs and with stuff that I normally only get in South Africa. So I found this African shop that I shop in. Then I take more than one pair of gloves because I go, I'm going to use them in this shop. I'm going to discard them. I'm going to use them in the next one. Then I must still come home, wash my hands, wash my shopping. And, then the kids want to help you unpack with stuff. And you're like, don't touch it. And
now,
it's an
have you and
adjustment.
hubby and the rest of the extended family, are you all on the same page? You're all like, okay, this ish is real. This is what we need to do.
Yeah, extended family, they are essential workers, so they're also ultra cautious. So no one's playing games here. Auntie's a nurse, so she's in the medical field, so she is not playing games. And uncle is in postal services, so he's also very they know what's happening. They're on the front lines of this thing. They consume too much CNN, in my view.
I've never heard that before. I've only ever heard that in context to Fox. Never CNN.
No, it's a little too much. I'm like, So
what are you talking about? You go from Anderson Cooper to Christiana Amanpour to Jake Tapper to McCornish. No, that's fine. You can never have too much CNN. What are you talking about?
No, you know what? I enjoy my bubble. You're like, actually, for now, I want to live in a bubble. It'll be really nice to just be in a bubble. I know too much, and the more you know, the more depressed you get. Because I was also going, now I must pick a struggle. Am I fighting Corona? Am I Black Lives Mattering? How do I do one?
Oh, snap. So you were, hang on, but they didn't have, did they have protests in
Yes, we are right by DC. Friend, we are like half an hour's drive.
Hang on a second. Help me with my math here. Are you in Washington State or Washington, D.C.?
Well, we're right by the state. We're in Virginia. So Virginia,
the state is West Coast, and Virginia is.
You spit and your thing, So you spit. You spit in Virginia. Your spit lands in Washington, basically.
Okay.
And so I was like, we should go and take part, and then I'm going, but can I take part in different ways?
But you also, hang on, but you're struggling to get your green card, and now you want to protest the government that you're about to join.
No. But I already got it. Things were not struggling to get it.
Okay, so you got it.
So we have to wait to receive it. No, but then I must then bring back the Rona to my asthmatics and then explain to them that. But I was fighting for lives that matters, and then they're gonna say, well, we can't breathe because you went out there, and so I was like, it's funny because everything's revolving around not being able to breathe, and I'm like, this is tragic. And then I look at the news in South Africa, I'm like, how Vanda, even there where we are the majority, we must still remind them that Black Lives Matter, guys, because I was looking now at this. I don't know. Is it a rumor that there's been like over 1 million graves dug, bruh?
Oh,
And I'm
my
like,
God. You got that at Fox News. There's no way CNN would make that mistake.
because we were
Stop watching Fox News, man.
because I was like,
No, the
we as a
government was saying,
country,
you know how important funerals are in South Africa.
yes.
Okay, so we're talking to a majority who would rather invest in a funeral than a than a retirement policy.
Right.
Right. So that's
Right.
that's how we think. Like, so we got no money, but we would make sure that the funeral is sorted before the kids are taken care of. You know what I mean? So our government was saying to the people, please don't panic and protest about this kind of stuff. We have allocated land which can
To
accommodate
bury you.
1.5 million graves. So don't panic. They're not digging 1.5 million graves. No, man.
Oh, we got you. We got you.
Yeah.
We can't
Yeah.
feed you. We can't
Yeah.
help you out, but we got
Yeah.
a grave for
But
you. You don't worry.
will,
You're not gonna just be chucked anyway. There's
we will
hope.
help you with that transition to the afterlife.
Okay. After
We'll
people
help
are
you with
rolling
that one.
around with like grave numbers on time. Yo, I'm Tumi Morake, grave A1566. Holla back. You know what I mean?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I was
But it
worried.
is,
I was like, hi
but
guys,
it
you're not
is
even trying.
it's a tough one here, because like there in the States, your biggest problem is like, are we approaching the Rona hard enough or soft enough and blah blah blah? You know, do we take it from a federal level or a state by state case? So that's the debate there. Okay, I know that the BLM marches were happening at the same time, which is put a pin in that. We're going to come back to that one. We're still doing the Rona, and we're going to come back to that green card. But put a pin in that one. Deserter. Let's just gloss over those. We'll come back to that. But here we are in South Africa, and we know we've just come through 9 years of Zukta, right? So we've got nothing. We've got less than nothing. 2 weeks before lockdown, we were downgraded on the last metric. So we were literally junk status on everything.
Friend.
So we had no money and no possibility to loan money because we're at junk status, because our record is so bad. And then, you know, we get, we've got this new president who seems to have everyone's interest in the heart. We forgot for a second.
He tries.
That he's a part of the party that kind of got us.
That's a problem. Yeah.
We forgot about that. For a second, we forgot about that.
Yeah.
But he said all the right things, did all the right things. Our Dr. Mkhize is like the genius, and Professor Karim is, these guys are like bona fide, like the best in the world. Like you could like Fauci and Prof. Karim, we could put together. They like, in actual fact, our prof is in the Royal Society. It's a small group of people. You might know them, Albert Einstein and Newton. They're in that group of people. So that's our prof from. So we got the people, but we've got the other thing where because our society is so uneven, it would seem that you need to have a double or triple approach to this, right? So this is how we do it for poor people. This is how we do it for your emerging middle class, and this is how we do it for, you know, people who got a bit of money, and that's about it, right? But we can't. Our government can't even be seen to be saying, private schools you can go back, but public schools, there's no way. You guys, there's no safety. We can't afford it. We don't have the money. So he's caught between a rock and a hard place, and we're only beginning to get to peak here. So we've gone March, April, May, June, halfway through July. Okay, so 4 months of lockdown, and we're going to go another 3 months.
But you know what I think, when you come to this thing of private schools and how you just with the poor and the rich, is Corona has exposed our inequalities. It's exposed it. Because my panic, the first thing I panicked about when they said that schools were going back was our children have already been falling into these pit toilets and dying. There's hardly any water. The schools are a mess. Now you want to try and tell me, oh, overnight you figured out a way to create sanitation in a school that was already at a negative. Now you want me to believe you're able to get it ready for this pandemic? No. I'm sorry.
70% of our, you could say as much as
it hard to believe.
70% of our kids didn't have a flushing toilet.
Exactly.
And now
So
you're saying
now
you
you're
can
gonna bring
hand
them
sanitize, mask, social distance,
and water.
still
There's
quality
water tanks.
education. And
I was like, oh, so you're able to organize water. So it means actually you've had the capacity to do this. You just went, but now, oh shit, people might die. Maybe let's bring our stuff. No, I felt like, you know what, this is the time when you guys have to be honest and go, you know what, we messed up. We've messed up for a long time, but we've messed up. Let's find a way around this. But corruption still
it's
gets
not
in the
just
way.
exactly, because our president is tentatively clinging to power. You know that he hasn't got the majority.
You're gonna kill people. I just you know, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because I was asking someone recently, so okay, fine, let's say we get rid of this ANC that you're saying there's such a problem. Which party is better? Which party? They're all the same. The government isn't just being run by ANC. They may be the majority, but we need to also be honest. It's not just them. They're not the only people running this country. There are parts of this country that they don't even run, but yet we're all sitting in the same damn toilet. So I think what we need to do is just make every leader, wherever they are, freaking accountable. And the ones who are always ready to point fingers, it's time for us to go. And then so what's your alternative? I hear you. You make a great point. In fact, I'm in agreement. What are you doing besides showing me that this person's messing up?
Do you know what? One of my... I hate quoting leaders that I'm not a big fan of. I really don't like that.
Are you going to quote Julius?
No. No, you know Julius spits bombs, truth bombs all the time. But he just mixes it with the right amount of hate. Hate and bombs. He's a lot like Trump.
Yes.
Huh? Juju and Trump, same cloth.
I must say, watching the politics here, sorry to digress, but actually, I feel like I'm in a Zuma, like a Zuma that went to private school. Honestly, like I'm just around the corruption, around how he doesn't care what you think. You know, there's a point when he's speaking and he's just going, actually, I don't have to listen to
Roger
you.
Stone, 12 counts, 12 federal counts. Walking from the courthouse, right. You're free.
He wasn't treated right.
No. Can you do it, Trump? And Riyad Musa does the best Trump.
I can't. He does the best. You know what? When Trump really killed me, like generally I go, how is this happening? Most of the time I'm looking at him like he's roadkill. I'm going, how is nobody stopping this uncle? But the time where he broke me was when he said, stop the testing. We'll keep the numbers down. Our numbers are up because we're testing too much.
So I said to them, stop the testing.
What the hell? I was like, this guy. So I'm waiting for him to maybe think, you know, when you can see somebody's eyes is going, hi, my friend, maybe we shouldn't have said that. No, he's gone. He's gone with the thing. It's like, it's a thing, this thing I've just said, and let's move on. I'm like, okay.
So do you have conversations? I mean, I know you're on, you know, it's limited, you're having limited engagement with people, but have you been chatting to people like fans of Trump? Do you have a family member that's like, actually, I like it?
It's really hard to find someone who will openly admit to supporting Trump. I did meet one African-American young lady in her late 20s, early 30s. And she just had this idea that when Obama was in power, he barely did anything for Black people. And Trump has done more for Black people than Obama ever did. And it was very interesting listening to her speak. And I was like, okay, this is new. This is an experience I'll accept.
Did you explain to her that there was a Republican House and a Senate that blocked everyone for his last 4 years? They blocked everything. And that Michelle said to everyone, because you didn't vote in the primaries, not in the primaries, in the, you know, the state, what do you call it? The state ones. So the midterms. You didn't vote in the midterms. You know, everyone came out for Obama for president, and then you didn't vote in the midterms. You gave the House and the Senate to the Republicans, and they blocked everything. He was a lame duck for 4 years. Did you tell that to her?
Friend, when you're an outsider and you're trying to tell somebody about their own politics and they know nothing about where you're from, it's very hard to argue. Because you know what I appreciate is South Africans, man, I'm so impressed with South Africans. We know so much about the world, and the world knows jack all about us. But we know so much about everyone. And that's the one thing, like, I'm so proudly South African right now. If I could walk around with the South African flag every day in the streets, I would, you know?
Talking about that, how long have you been there? And I've noticed that you've got a twang already. You've Trevor on me.
I do not. I do not.
You went all New Yorker on me there just now.
No, but we were playing with that. That was play. That was not me talking.
Are you sure? Okay, do it. Put it on.
I'm not putting it on. I don't know how.
You sounded like Monique for a second.
I don't know how to do an accent. I don't know how to do American accent.
You did it.
Unless there's a
earlier.
coach right next to me. Unless there's a coach. Like I did this whole sci-fi thing, and I had my accent coach. I think the only reason I was comfortable on that show was for everything. When they say cut, I just look for my accent coach. You know, when you scan the room, like, I said, okay. Anyway.
What sci-fi thing did you do?
It's called Vagrant Queen. The one Bodim Bully did.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
But, like all the South Africans were in there. Colin Moss was in there. Grant Swanby was in there. Paul Snodgrass was in there. They all in there.
That's pretty dope.
And what was your accent? What were you doing?
I did a couple of eps.
Were you like, was just the standard American accent?
Austerix. Yeah, I did a standard American accent. It was crazy. I was so mad. I was like, have you seen Killing Eve? No.
Okay.
I must see it.
No. So when you said accents there, I'm exactly the same. Like if the coach is here and says, okay, so you're going to do, you're not doing the North Country Scottish, you're going to kind of do a little bit of a Glaswegian.
Yeah.
And so if they coach me, I'm like, all right, go in there, because otherwise I tend to go in towards the Irish. And I'm like, so I'll start off with a Scottish accent and I'll end it with an Irish accent. And you're right.
There's all these intricacies, like little things like schwas and what, and you don't hear yourself do it. Because also in South Africa, you know what I think happened? I think all of our accents came together and made a baby. And so we speak the way we speak. We all speak like each other. And then when we have to go and find one accent that places you somewhere specifically, it's very hard because our tongues are like, but we're everywhere. Because of the way we speak, we change lanes every time we speak. And when you're switching languages, you're switching accents all the time. So when you have to stick to one, it becomes tricky. And
maybe
so
that's why you didn't know, but you had a bit of a New Yorker twang there when we started this.
Maybe
you didn't even know.
Because I mean, no, but I don't think my accent will change. I think the South African in me fights.
2 years you're gonna be Trevor Noah.
Also remember, I'm not really moving here now. See, Rona really threw us.
You see there, what you just did there. Well, I'm not really moving here now. That was all American. That wasn't the Tumi Joburg vibe.
Leave me alone.
I saw that there.
No, so listen, ever since I've known my husband since uni, he's spoken about the US. He's spoken about New York. I mean, he's come here. There was I think 2 years that he came, and he was touring, doing work. And even while he's been in South Africa, he's done quite a bit of work overseas. So he was like, the kids are growing. We're not getting any younger. Let's do this one thing that we've always talked about, right? Which was always history. I've never really been like anything America. I've been like, please, South Africa is where it's at for me. That's my low-hanging fruit. So the idea was to support him in coming here. Yeah. But because he applied for his green card, we automatically got them. So it's not like I was out there trying to move here. So yes, so we all had to come together so that we could
I was getting a bit judgy. I must admit.
No, please, never. Me. I'm a hardcore South African. So,
that's what I thought.
Yeah, but he's like a typical...
You said green card just now, and I went like this. I fell off my chair like that. That's what I fell. I was like, Tumi Morake!
But he's a typical West African man in that, I don't know if you've noticed, but those guys move everywhere. Like, I wish South Africans were a bit more like that, where you travel. Yeah. So his family is spread out all over the world. They're in Indonesia, UK, United Arab Emirates, here, US, they are everywhere, literally, Australia. So I knew it was only a matter of time before the bug bit properly. And so when this opportunity came, I was like, okay, let's do it. And so in record time, we get these letters saying our green cards have been approved. We need to be in the US in the next 6 months. And I was like, this is happening sooner than that's why nobody even knew. I have friends who've been going, so you couldn't even have a party. You couldn't even have a goodbye dinner party.
I know, I was shocked.
I wasn't leaving. I was never leaving. The idea was to come here, get the cards, get re-entry. You can ask for re-entry, right? So you can stay out of the country for like a good 2 years. So then I was going to start wrapping up my life there, figure out what I'm going to do when I come here, and figure out the kids. Now we're stuck here. The Rona was like, leaving too soon. And so we were like, okay, we're stuck here. What do we do? Ironically, Darren, I've worked more during this Rona period than I have in the past year. Like last year was a rough year. And so this year I'm going, lockdown has been good for me. I've worked because, you know, I'm a hustler. You know me. I'm
Yeah.
about the work. So when
Yeah.
I arrived here, I already brought my recording equipment because I was like, at least I can do voiceovers while I'm here, because I was going to be here for about 2 months. So I was going to be doing voiceovers. Then as soon as lockdown hit everywhere and borders got closed, I invested in studio equipment. And I was broker than a broke after that. But I was like, I've just invested in my ability to work. And so what ended up happening is I ended up getting gigs because people found out I'm able to record. I can give you quality 4K footage. If it's video, I can give you studio quality. You know, there's ads I've recorded, voiceovers back home. And so just to reiterate, I have had no intention of really leaving the country. If anything, I thought I'm probably going to live between both countries so that Bay can do his thing, Bootang can do his American thing. My kids will have the choice of do they want to study in South Africa, do they want to study in America, and then I'll just live between both. Because I just feel like when you come from South Africa, where you come from, it's like leaving raw material and going, let me go somewhere else where it gets beaten down. No, I want to go where the raw stuff is, because that's where your spark is, you know? Like, I don't know if have you when you travel and you meet those South Africans who've left South Africa and live somewhere else, you can hear them trying to convince themselves that that is the better life. But you can see how much they miss home, because then they'll ask you, they'll just ask you about South Africa. That's all they'll do. They'll ask you about the food. They'll ask you about the buffoonery of government. But they need you to feed that information.
Restaurant still there?
Yes.
You guys still do this? Do you eat this?
And they miss the flavor of our kind of corruption. Because I'm here and I'm going, this great nation is built on corruption. We just have the kind of corruption that doesn't benefit our people at all. They've perfected it. It's an art. They're dirty, but you're like, but I see progress. But you're filthy, but I see progress. As we're just eating and eating and eating. And what have you done? I'm still eating. No! You know? But like, you can tell when people are going, oh, I miss a little bit of that adrenaline rush. I miss the adrenaline of just, is my car still there?
No, I don't miss that at all.
Because we're so hardcore, man. South Africans are so hardcore.
Tumi, you took me by 100% surprised in this one. I thought you were still in Joburg. I thought you hadn't done a gig. I thought hubby was like, you know, like selling, you know, secondhand cigarettes or whatever. And the kids were like homeschooling, and then here you are.
They're homeschooling. They're homeschooling.
But they're more like online. They're online schooling or homeschooling, because there's different. So they're enrolled with a school that does it online, or are they part of the like the Betsy DeVos, you will homeschool and you can
friendship? Let me tell you, actually speaking about the school thing, because you know their school, the school they're in South Africa, had a COVID case happen. And I think it's the second time it's happened. That's why I'm like, listen, regardless of how rich or poor your school is, COVID does not discriminate. It goes, I will find a gap and I will jump in. So, because they were doing a little bit of both. Some kids were going to school, some kids were at home. So now they're having, like, it's shifting all the time. It's like the minute there's a case, the next thing has to happen. I also run a school. We have a teacher who tested positive in the school I own. And it's such a scary thing. You know, because now you're going, I need to protect my students, but I also have to protect my employees. But the minute I have to send them home and shut down, what are we saying about salaries? Because we need to earn. Parents aren't making money, so we're also making such a huge loss. Like, I've been stressed. I've been really stressed.
Shame, man.
You know?
And so many of these decisions are like steeped in like, you know, like politics or like opinion and feeling. So like, if I send my kids to school, I'm saying this to society. And if I homeschool them, then I'm saying this.
I'm privileged. I'm happy to listen. I own it. I consider myself a currently privileged Black person in that I have choices. I have options. And so homeschooling has been an option, a great option, because also with online schooling with the school, my kids are waking up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. to be in class with their schoolmates at like 8, 9. And I was like, this is crazy. We can't keep doing this. We didn't make them. They chose to do it. But I was like, this is madness. Let's rather reframe how we do this. You're not going to be in classroom with your friends. We'll organize virtual play dates. we're going to do this work with you. We'll get whatever's recorded by the school and we'll do this together, you know? But it's crazy. Do you know how good it is for their psyche? Like I'm starting to wonder what's happening in our schools because my kids are at their most peaceful. They're so happy.
Yeah.
My daughter's the one who's like, I want to go back to school, but then she's a social butterfly and she was in grade R. Grade R cannot be called school. I don't know why those people are making you feel so damn important. Like, oh, grade R's must go back with the grade 6s and the matrics.
Yeah.
Why? What are the grade R's doing?
What are they doing?
Squiggles that important to society. Anyway,
yeah, blending colors. And they don't even, you don't even give them like mixed red and blue. They're just like red, choose your favorite.
Yeah.
How is it different to being at home?
So it's great to have them home and learning, and I'm learning, and I didn't know how much I didn't know until I had to do the stuff with my kids.
I'm so chuffed for you, man. 100%. Don't bring the Rona. Don't use the Rona there.
Listen, I'm over the Rona. You know that new kid on the block where everything is them? Yeah. The Rona reminds me, I'm sorry, okay. Yeah. Take this with a pinch of salt, but the Rona reminds me of Trevor Noah, how Trevor Noah blew up, then suddenly every single comedian we're being told, after we know Trevor Noah, oh, you can be the next Trevor Noah. And we're like, guys, we've been comedying. Yeah. We've been comedying. He's doing great. He's done great, but we've been. So I feel like Corona must chill. We've been
in actual fact,
long before Corona.
You must tell the people we were meeting twice a week, weeknights at Joe Parker's spare room, working on some improv. And before he was even doing open spots at Cool Runnings.
Like we freaking built this industry. We built this industry. And he took it to the next level. No one's taking that away from him. But honestly, when for every great comedian you have to be given that as the litmus test or as that's the benchmark. No, friend. No, we're all working our own parts. So Corona, please, just because I'm coughing, don't go give Corona all the credit. Other children deserve that credit. AIDS deserves some credit.
That could be HIV. That could be TB. Like, you're right. That could just be H1N1. Do you remember when swine flu was the biggest? People freaking out about that.
My son was hospitalized for that thing last year.
Exactly.
He was hospitalized for H1N3. At that time, I didn't even know that upgraded. I was like, oh, so there was an update. No one told me. There was an update. It's an H1N3. And now it's Corona. Everybody must sit down. Diabetes is sitting there going, give me some sugar. Like, guys, can we stop ignoring other diseases just because this one is shining in the spotlight? Yeah.
But again, I can hear the kids. Don't worry. I'm gonna have kids and dogs, and the fro's gonna come through your nana.
Yeah, I'm tired of fighting with them. I'm like, guys, wait. What did I do? I moved my camera, and I don't know. Now I feel like I'm lopsided because with TV, like you have to be placed in the center, and then when you're not in the center, you can feel it. So then you get annoyed, and then I'm like, wait, I'm not in the center anymore, and then you're finicking. There we go. Now I feel like. There we go. Now I feel more comfortable. All right. Where were we, the lovely Darren Maule? Does the world know how amazing you are? Do they know, like, what a great heart you have? Like, even at your messiest and your worst, you're the most loving, protective person I've ever known. Like, because when you talk about all this GBV and #MeToo and all of this, and, there've been guys who've been like, yeah, but you work with comedians and those guys are wild. And I go, not the ones I've worked with, because I worked with you at a time when I was on the road a lot, when I was jumping club to club a lot. And that was the time I felt the safest, Yeah,
it's weird.
Like, you are definitely one of the great ones. Like, so when the other guys misbehave, I take it even more personally because I go, you actually have no right. The greats themselves made us feel like queens and protected, like I never to be reminded I'm a woman who's out with men late at night. And then now, you want to come with your nonsense. No, like it really needs to be said, because I think at this time that we're being hurt and we're scared and we're asking what the hell is wrong with our men, we also need to mention those men who've held it down and who've given us a reason to believe that we can still feel safe around the men who we work with, who love us, who respect us,
Yeah.
So I love that about you. You're a good man.
Virtual hug.
Virtual hug. You'll never hear me say this again, so I'm done. I don't do soppy, I don't do soppy. It's just, I love you, you're a good man.
Oh, wait, we weren't recording. Do it again. No, I'm kidding. What was that? It was the door. You looked like the door fell over.
No, because I think somebody burst in mid tantrum and then realized what we're doing, and then they literally had to check that. Like, and I was like,
and they can see the look on your face. Okay, I'm going to put a pin in this tantrum. I'm coming back to this one.
But also, I think they got that look from the off. We're going to discuss how you embarrassed me on TV. We're going to talk about this. And they don't want to talk about that.
My daughter's getting to that age now. Like for the first 9 years, I was able to do a lot of, my daughter did this, my daughter did this. Look how bad her spelling test is. Guys, let's embarrass our kids. Take a picture of your last spelling test and send it to the website. You know how it is. You know how the radio thing goes. And then eventually, I think around about, she's 11 going on 12 now. So just before 11, she said to me, I'm not such a fan of being the jokes anymore, hey, Dad. And I'm like, I said to her, but baby, this is a serious conversation. Like, if you don't want me to do gags about you, because I mean, I do you on stage, I do you in the videos, and I do you on air, and like and I've said to her before, I've sprinkled on the radio magic, a little bit of exaggeration for the stories.
Yes.
But if you're not comfortable, my baby girl, you tell me straight up, and I will cut that out. And she's like, yeah, it's a bit hard because it's hard to explain to other people that you're joking. She said to me, and I'm like, oh. So it's a bit uncomfortable for you. She's like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, I can that. Let me just scratch out 80% of my material. God.
But I'm so impressed with her for being able to express herself, especially to your parents, because you know how as kids want to please our parents, and when they do that, I think it's such a beautiful thing. Because I mean, I've got a chubby little 6-year-old, and I remember calling her because she's got the cutest little feet, and I love biting them. And I was like, let me bite those mini loaves. And she said, I don't like that. Don't say that about my feet. Don't like that. And don't call me chubby. So now I can only call her in private. And I was like, if she can stand up to us like that, I am excited about how she'll be able to stand up for herself in the world, because that's what you want.
Oh, you keep supporting that.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And you affirm it to go, yes, you're right, and I will listen to you.
Yeah.
And your voice is important. Oh, beautiful stuff.
Yeah, I was actually just recently talking to Jason Goliath about that, and I'm like, some of the things that our kids are doing, because like Mouse is, on TikTok now, and she does all the videos and stuff, but there's engagement that happens below that, and she's starting to have the fights with them about LGBTQI and Black Lives Matter. She even changed her icon to the black and white fist that is the part of the movie.
That's beautiful.
All on her own. And I only found out about it when, because I mean, she knows, Mom knows, Nana knows, we have access to her socials until she hits 15, and then she can have a semblance of privacy as far as that's concerned. Because we're just like, that's just the law. That's
the law, yeah.
Yeah.
We need to protect our kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Nana, who I'm not surprised to say is a bit of a homophobe and also maybe a little bit racist, but not like those other ones. Just racist. And she was trying to censor my daughter and saying, I don't know if you're at the right age to be having a stance on that kind of stuff. And I said, you tell your Nana to butt out of stances that you choose to have or not have. And she was like, can I? She's my Nana. And I'm like, I said to her, baby, you're old enough, and
yes,
and you're kind of feeling what is right and what's wrong, and you need to be able to find out where you can fight and where you can't fight.
Yes.
I would say try not to fight, rather be the light and let people see the correct behavior, because the socials is a cesspit of hate that's happening out there. But do not let your Nana shut you down. You have a feeling, an emotion about something,
share it. Yeah. That's for me, that's where safety lives. The minute our children don't feel like they have to create dark corners that they hide, for me, that's when I feel like we can say we did our best. So whichever way they go after that, we will know that we gave them the space to express and to feel safe, because I mean, I had my 8-year-old Googling George Floyd, and I realized he's hearing all this news. Yeah. He's seeing we're trying not to talk about it in front of them. But obviously they can't get away from it because it's everywhere. It's on socials, it's everywhere. And so we were forced to start having a conversation with all of them around Black Lives Matter and all of this. It's hard, but that's the world we live in, guys. We can't shield our kids. Like, I realized how shielded we were for a long time as children. You know, a lot of the stuff we learned ourselves. And that was much later when we had access to information. These kids are born into the information. They were playing with our phones before they could speak. It's scary, but like you said, we need to know what they're consuming. If we don't know, we're gonna be in trouble, because
we have to have those conversations with them.
Yeah, it's man, Darren, but that breaks my heart, because I'm going, here's a young 8-year-old kid who I'm supposed to tell that you are gonna grow up into something that is feared. And these cops that you love, because my son loves cops. I remember when we were in New York, oh my gosh, we even took him to the, what's it called, 34th precinct? What's the precinct? What's the number? Is it 34? I don't know. We took them, but there was a cop station there. And we went there and he was so happy. He was greeting the cops, and we're greeting him back, because New York cops are also very cool. Those guys look so damn cool. Like, when they're walking there, you're like, I want to be a cop. And they're lovely. The ones I encountered anyway, where we were staying, were absolutely lovely. And so now I'm having to tell him, your favorite people are the people who these protests are against, because of what's been happening, you know. And you could see just the crestfallen thing just happen over him, like his face just, you know, you could see this child's fantasies kind of starting to, you know, be eroded. It broke my heart. And then I go, I'm going to measure how much truth I tell this child. Then I go, but is it okay? Do I have a right to measure how much truth I tell them? Because we're open about everything else. Like last time I overheard them speaking, and the elders were going, but what if I'm a transvestite? Like, you don't know. And I don't know what they were talking about, but I was like, this is such a mature conversation. I didn't even know what transvestite meant when I was like a kid, you know? But we have to let our kids express themselves, and so that when they go into the world, they're not these people who tolerate difference and, you know, accepting of others, but rather are a part of something. They are part of the fact that everybody comes in all flavors.
So how do you have that very nuanced conversation with an 8-year-old?
You call in their father, and you put everything in its context. You cannot generalize. That's one thing I found. I refuse to generalize. So I was like, what do you know? Before I give you anything else, what do you know? Then he was like, okay, George Floyd is famous, but I don't know why he's famous, but I know they killed him. Then we're able to go into, this is why you're hearing his name so much. This is what BLM is, blah, blah, blah. His brother has read Nelson Mandela's Long Walk to Freedom, right? And he's only 11. But he's read The Long Walk to Freedom. So he was also giving a context of, it's like apartheid and this. And I was like, exactly. And then they're like, oh, so white people are bad. I said, no. Let's talk about our family. No, literally, I was like, let's talk about our family. So in our family, luckily, we're like the United Colors of Benetton. Our family is made up of Indian people, white people, black people from all over the diaspora, South Africa, everywhere, right? So I was, and Asian people. So I was like, when we're together, are we any color? No, like he literally had to think about what color everybody is. And I went, exactly. So this is about a few people who are very badly behaved. And this is how they think people should be treated. And these people are standing up and saying, it's not right. It's not right. This is what happened to the guy. You give them context. Because I feel like if you give children a generalized answer, they can take that general thing to be gospel. And then they grow up with that. And now you've got an angry child who's thinking that, oh, so actually I must now break up with my white friends because actually white people are evil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's been interesting. We'll see how it goes. But so far, so good. I haven't seen.
Yeah, we didn't get a handbook on this. No, we didn't have classes on this at school teaching us how to raise kids in a world with interwebs and Corona. No one told us.
Yeah, but I must say, like, I just, you know, you always hope that children, much as they expose the worst in you, they're going to help you celebrate the best about you. Yeah. So when I've seen them be like that, like when I'm painting my nails and I'm like, I'm bored. And they're like, we're also bored, paint our nails too. They're not going, oh, it's a girl thing. They're like, paint our nails too. And they're walking around with nail polish and they're trying to walk in our high heels. And they're going, Mom, you do this the whole day. This hurts. I'm like, you do it to impress your uncles. Your uncles like this thing. And he's like, I want a girlfriend who wears sneakers. I'm like,
Yeah.
Trust me, you're gonna like her in heels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I had to learn that the hard way, hey? Like, because the uncomfortable conversations come out. And I got into a lot of trouble on radio for saying, after speaking to experts, when do you speak to your kids today about, at what age do you start talking about sex and race and transgender or LGBTQ and all of this? When? And on my research today, the phrase that's going around is 8 is too late.
I can believe it.
And so I had the talk. I had the birds and the bees talk with a mouse, and I built myself up, and I was really nervous, and then I got to it, and then I didn't want to rush it, and I wanted to engage with her, and it turns out Mom's already had the talk. It was wasted. Mom did it already, and I got all that freaked out for nothing. It had been done, but I learned a valuable lesson there in that you're quite right. We do run the risk as parents of saying, no, this is the way this is, and this is the way that is, as opposed to, okay, so you've asked me about this. Where did you find out about it?
Yes.
What do you understand about it? And say this happened. How would that make you feel? Okay, say this.
Exactly.
So the conversations, and could even venture into places that you and I, quite liberal, we might not know much about or be open-minded to, and we've got to let the kids go there, you know.
Yeah, because sometimes we think open-minded, Darren, but actually we're not open-minded. It's just that we've decided the thing is over there, it's not here, so we're able to be accepting of it. And then the minute it's in our space, we go, wait, I thought I was cool, but I'm actually not cool. So so what were the 3 things you were going to ask me? You said there were 3 silly things you were going to ask me.
So 3 silly things. Here we go. You ready? What music was playing with your first kiss?
Yeah? What music?
Yeah.
I wanna lay you down in bed with roses. In fact, I fell in love. No.
Bon Jovi.
Don't Bon Jovi, bruh. I fell in love with him then. I proper fell in love with him then. And like,
was that Mpo?
Was that Mpo way? Yes.
Who was the guy you first kissed?
The moment. I know, man. That was high school.
Oh, okay. But you fell in love with who? Bon Jovi with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But I had to do it in secret because then it was like, what's wrong with this child? Like this black girl just all over John Bon Jovi with all that blonde hair. Like, it was weird.
All right. What was the last movie that you can remember that made you cry? Or series?
Frozen 2. I cried. Oh, I cried. In Frozen 2. I cried, friend. And then I was like, I'm a little too invested in this movie. I chunked.
Frozen.
I cried, bro.
Who cries in animation? Did you cry in Lion King as well?
I did. No, I didn't cry in Lion King. I don't think I was emotionally developed enough to care. Yeah. But in Frozen, I just, you know what? Credit to people who know how to write and to people who know how to score a movie well. And, so when we thought that Elsa was dead, hey, I cried. Then the snowman died because Olaf melted away. Like, you don't understand. I was a mess. And then
Hey, Anna. I just thought of one thing that's permanent.
What's that?
Love.
Warm hugs.
And then when they found each other again, but also because we've been through so much loss. And my daughter actually also cried. I think she got me going because she also cried. And my kids, we're talking about protecting our kids. They've had such close losses that, guys, telling your children about death is the worst thing you ever want to have to do. I'm still haunted by the way they cried when I had to tell them that their nanny had passed. Because literally the last time they saw her was the morning before getting them ready for school. We didn't know how sick she was. We took her to the hospital and she was gone by midnight. And so we had to tell them that she was gone. And so I think watching that, and then soon after that, it was the great granny Soon after that, it was my uncle. And these are all people we're very close with.
Yeah.
And they also lost some people at school. Like there was a couple of students who were ill who also passed. So I think all of that, and then you watch this movie.
Yeah.
I was just... And then when she came back and there was reunion, then I cried happy tears. And then the boys were like, so we're not watching movies with you anymore. And I was like, okay, I'll take it.
It's weird. You never know what they're going to, like Mouse as well. She got really, really upset. We were watching something, I think it was just a fluff piece. And then someone performed something on stage and the audience didn't laugh. Oh, you know what it was? Eurovision with Will Ferrell.
Yes.
And when the audience didn't, with the hamster wheel came off and it fell, they crashed, and they tried to end with they were covered in grease and anus, and they were trying to perform the ending, and then the audience didn't applaud as they were walking off the stage, and she got so upset. She was like, they could have just applauded. Wait a minute. And I was like, and she got real emotions, and I'm, baby, this is comedy, you know that, right? This is not serious. Why? And then the audience did this slow clap, and they eventually got there. And she was like, "Oh, now it's too late. It's too late." I was like, "What the hell?" She got really, really emotional. But anyway,
do you see how powerful we are as storytellers?
Yeah,
we really take people on a journey.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, last question. You ready? Again, if you might not want to answer this question, but that's how these things work. Once you've asked, I said 3 questions. I'm going to ask 3 questions. You need to answer 3 questions.
Why am I scared?
No, don't be scared. It's me. I got you.
It's exactly because it's you that I'm scared.
All right. So imagine all you had to do was perform one human sacrifice, and then the Rona's gone. Who would you sacrifice?
Trump.
Donald Trump. Just like that.
Yes. He doesn't care.
Yeah, he doesn't, eh? And he's like, you know what? He's in that age bracket. If we don't do it, the road is going to get him anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'm so sorry that was such an easy answer for me. But
I thought you were going to anguish over this. Like, I can't wish ill on other people. And like, I can't in my heart. And then you were just like, yeah, Donald Trump, he must go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you don't value other people's lives, it's hard to value yours.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people on that list, I'm sure. But that one, who I can name at least, yes. The ones that I can name, no. He's the only one I can name. From there, it would be general people who've done atrocities. But, you know, but you want an expensive sacrifice. This is an expensive sacrifice worth millions, probably billions. So it would be a great sacrifice. It would be cathartic, because it's a combination of things. There'll be catharsis, then there'll be the healing and the ending of this thing, you know. Yeah, I think I stand with that one.
Oh, can you imagine coming out the other side, like February, March, and there's a vaccine and people are getting back to the new normal, and then you still have another 3 years of Donald Trump?
You know, that guy, not even George W. Bush, do I ever think I would have gone him when we were having this conversation. It's just that it's the little things that tell you how many Fs someone gives. If he's got a bag full of Fs, if he's ever going to share, and you know he's never going to share. He doesn't have any to give, because I remember when, I think it was the week of George Floyd's funeral, and he was talking about how George would be proud. This is good. George would be proud. And I'm like, you know, you didn't have to talk about it. It's looking down proudly. And I'm like, you'd rather don't. How about don't? Because soon after that, you know, there was a recording of him basically kicking out the police chiefs and telling them not to show fear and to not stand down. And I'm like, let me get this straight.
You smash their head when you get into the car, and that narrative that he was pushing.
No, I can't. You can't be a human who's like that, man.
You know,
it's 2020. Some of these things that are happening, I'm like, it's 2020. Do people realize it's 2020? There are just certain things that don't make sense. We went through a plague, and it's 2020. We are going through levels of hate that don't make any sense, and it's 2020. Like, we know better. My thing is, as people, we all know better.
Yeah.
So it's hard to accept a lot of the things that happen now because of way, but we know better. Even around racism, because I feel like some things are so ingrained in you, they're in your DNA. Like, for example, for Black people, I know for us, we have to do a lot of trauma counseling, and to heal on a DNA level, we need to do deep trauma healing on that level. And I feel like if that's how it is with trauma, how is it with that level of hate and discrimination? Because there are some people who are racist, but they're not hateful racist. They're just it's natural for them. They're like, no, but of course you are lesser than me. It's just no, I'm not. I don't hate you. I will have a meal with you. We can go and play golf together. Heck, you can sleep over at my house, but just know I'm superior. Just accept that I'm superior. It's the way God made it. But they're the nicest people. They'll give you $1 million for no reason. But you must just remember they're above you.
Just remember, and our kids can't date.
They can have as many friends as they want.
Yeah, you can have sleepovers and you can play in the same football team.
You can't.
Don't do that. No, because we're superior. Yeah,
So
we
have a long way to go, but I'm hopeful. We're gonna fix it. The comedians will probably fix it. The ones who aren't too obsessed with the commercialization of their voices, I mean, that's been my biggest struggle of going. But my voice is not commercial, guys. There are things I need to say. But Tumi, how are you going to get brand ambassadorship? How are sponsors? Don't you want sponsors? I choose my voice over sponsorship any day. You know what I mean?
Hundreds.
Like we need to, because it's funny when I look at all these race things when they blow up, and I remember how, when you do gigs and then you get the clips in the newspaper the next day and whatever. And I remember being criticized for talking about race. And I've seen other comedians go through it where they're like, oh, if one more comedian has to talk about Black people and white people. I'm like, but we need those conversations, because believe it or not, we are still insecure around each other. We still have many unsaid things between us. And the more we keep sweeping them under the carpet, the more racial Tourette's is going to keep nabbing us. Every once in a while, there's going to be that one dumbass who's going to get caught on the wrong side of a comment. So we need to unearth these things and exorcise the demon. Once we
are you like against the cancel culture then?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
I've
too
never
much of a
liked
sweeping
the
statement.
cancel culture. I've never liked it. I've never bought into it, because for me, that's very witch hunty. That's very, let's burn them at the stake. So I've never really been a fan of the cancel culture, because also what we're taking away is people's ability to be redeemed. We're taking away people's chance at redemption. And I don't think that's right. We are all human. Nobody's perfect. And so this thing
except maybe Roger Stone. I think we can call it on Roger Stone. I don't think there's redemption there. And that Miller guy, the writer for Trump, Miller, what's his name? Miller.
No, but cancel culture for me needs to be controlled, because what happens now with it is, I get the principle of it, but it can't just become, now I'm going to hate you, Darren, and decide that, you know what, I'm done with you, I'm going to end you. And all I have to do is, after we end this Zoom meeting, is I'm going online. And I'm going to, instead of, if you really did hurt me deeply, I could address it properly. But instead, I'm actually going to go to social media where it can catch fire, where the narrative will also be dictated by the people who catch it and run with it, no longer by me who was in the situation, or by you.
Because I mean, you were on the other side of that. You had the entire Pretoria that wanted to cancel you because you spoke the truth. So I think maybe you're coming from that, because you've experienced what it's like for people not to get you.
No, but I get that. But I mean, even there, I divided Pretoria, because it wasn't all of Pretoria that wanted me canceled. There was the Pretoria that heard what I said, and then the Pretoria was just like, don't touch us in our studio. But I
would you have done it, okay, knowing what you know now, would you have done anything differently?
Hell no. I'll do it 10 times over and over and over again. If I would ever change anything, maybe it would be I wouldn't have gone to work there.
Do you know what I would have I would have done? Like if I was your PD, I would have said to you, no, it's great, you dropped the bomb, now stay off the socials. Don't engage. Oh, you know how many times Anna and my program manager, they pull me off the cliff, because it doesn't matter. No, you're not going to win that fight. No one wins that fight. That's a hate fest.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like once Black Twitter gets you, that just quit.
Yes. Oh,
Just quit.
Yeah, I've been on
Even
both
if you
sides
put your
of
hand
Black
up and
Twitter.
say, "Yeah, you guys are right. I'm okay. I apologize." Oh, now you no.
Oh, I've been on both sides of Black Twitter. It's crazy. But I'm gonna tell you why I say this cancel culture is dangerous. Who's that comedian again? The little Indian one. Why do I call him a little? Ansari. Somebody Ansari. No. He's American. Aziz Ansari.
Yes. Yeah.
Remember, there was a girl who came and accused him in this #MeToo thing.
Yeah.
And when he spoke up, he said what she described is what happened. But from my perspective, I actually didn't see the wrong I was doing. Because then he gives the same story from his perspective, and you're going, I get it. You know, now this thing I talk about how things need to be unlearned. Yeah. So for guys, there are certain social rules that guys haven't been told they're wrong. Guys haven't really been, you know. So for him, because he was still comfortable, and because she wasn't being obviously uncomfortable, he just took it as, of course, girls, you know, start off a little. I mean, it's our first time. He didn't realize how much he had put her in a compromising position. He admitted to it and he apologized. Yeah. And what you got from it is he's not denying that he did nothing wrong. He is talking about the intent and he is talking about his perspective when he's doing the thing. And for me, that's someone who's taking responsibility. Yeah. Because he's going, I am going to take responsibility for what I've done. I will face the consequences. But it is important for me that you understand that this is me being educated as well. Because going forward, this kind of thing will never happen again. Yeah. And for me, like when you cancel someone like that, you're sending the wrong message. Yeah. Because you also
it's so weird though, because you catch the senator that fools around on his wife, and then they do this big charade of an apology in public, and you just know none of this is real.
It's nonsense.
And then you have, you know, like Aziz, who's being genuine and heartfelt and like vulnerable. And he, we've got to find a better way to have the conversations and to allow each other space to learn and heal.
Yeah, because I mean, do you know how much healing I had to go through to let go of R. Kelly's music, to delete him off my devices? Yeah. Like, do you know how many memories I've had to go and just try and let go of, because I'm like, well, we have to cancel this guy. And
no, people got married to his music. It's not R. Kelly. That's my wedding night.
That's what, exactly. Now I must go change my wedding video because, and that time I feel passionately about this thing, and I'm angry that he's so unrepentant that I'm going, indeed, I'm going to cancel you. But that time I'm stepping in the name of love, and I'm like, don't step in the name of love. You know, like. We're gonna do
Listen, we're running out of time. Do the plugs. Do the plugs. All right. So if you want to see Tumi Morake live from
9th of
Virginia.
August. Yes, we're doing Married But Not to Each Other on the 9th of August. Tickets at Ticket Pro. We're gonna be online doing the things that make the parts to be done. Follow us on Instagram to get more information.
And is it Married But Not to Each Other on Insta or Tumi Morake and Rooster? On
Insta, yes, go for Tumi_Morake and then Tumi. So I think does he call himself the Rooster? I don't know. So we're still putting it together, but it'll definitely be out 9th of August. We started advertising. The tickets are available, and you're gonna enjoy it. I promise.
Love you. I miss you. I'll see you when you're back here.
Yes.
Thank you for talking to me for 2.5 hours.
It was fine. It was great catching up. Good luck to the editor.
There he is.
Sorry, Simon. Bye, guys.
All the best. And listen, drop me you can let me know sometimes. Like, drop me a WhatsApp. Like, oh, by the way, I'm getting my green card, and I'm in America, and I'm going to be a part of this, you know, TV series coming out with Michelle Pfeiffer next year. Give it a later. You know what I mean?
I will.
Oh my God! There's so many info bombs you dropped on me in this one. Sheesh.
Sorry.
Okay, my love.
All right, love. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Darren, do you want to just? Oh God, Darren, do you want to stay on? And he's gone. Kitty! Kitty!